Let's check in with Fox and Friends, shall we? Where they weigh in on the dynamic of private prisons. We should say, just as a reminder, that about 10 years ago, I believe it was, maybe a little less, maybe a little more, the private prison industry was quite aware that there might be some type of criminal justice reform or some type of pushback on the private prison industry. And so they were beginning to tell investors and shareholders, we have a plan to get into the immigrant detention business, which of course they have done. But that's just a little bit of a sort of a backgrounder for Steve Doocy and Fox and Friends.
One of the reasons historically the federal government and state governments have used private detention facilities and private prisons and whatnot is because they're cheaper. Plus, they've got profit motives to reduce recidivism incentives, and make them better conditions, and poor performing operators can be removed and replaced. And so that's why the government has done that. But according to Joe Biden, he just needs 5 more days and he's going to fix it. So let's see.
It's the opposite.
There are no incentives for lack of recidivism. In fact, they have all of the profit motive for a lot of recidivism.
Right.
We should also say that there are no studies that show that private prisons save money. They do not. And they end up having horrible conditions. And like I say, their profit motive is recidivism. So the concept of prison as rehabilitation is completely off it. And not only that, they also have all sorts of outside contractors where they monetize everything. Phone calls, emails, all of these things end up being sources of revenue for people who are cash strapped. And so it's families that pay, and any work that they do in the prison, their pay is immediately garnished. He couldn't have been more wrong. I mean, on all the accounts, he couldn't have been more wrong.
Slave labor is very restorative.
I would love to get him in a room and just kind of
Doocy.
Yeah, just like pin him. Please explain how does reducing recidivism help their profits? How?
I would say getting Doocy in a room alone would be fascinating. Like, I think he's the guy who you feel like if you talk to him for like an hour and a half, he would break.
I think it's interesting that Emma wants to pin down Steve Doocy, but
I was going to not go there.
Don't you dare.
I'm just repeating what you said.
Don't put that image in anybody's mind, let alone mine. Thank you. But you did it already, so God damn it.